I had to survive 100 days as an iron golem in hardcore Minecraft. I have 4 goals. Upgrade a village and defend it from a raid. Defeat the ender dragon. Find and destroy a woodland mansion. And last but not least, build a beacon. Make sure you watch till the end to see this adventure. Day 1, I spawned in a village and got to work. I chopped down this tree, made a crafting table, and made all my wooden tools. With my wooden hoe, I collected all the hay bales and made bread. I made myself stone tools and mined a bunch of coal, copper, and iron. I put the iron into the furnace, and once they smelted, I made a pickaxe, chestplate, and boots. Since there's no mobs right now, I spent the rest of day 1 and 2 mining. On day 3, I got extremely lucky and found my first vein of diamonds, so I made another iron pickaxe and started collecting them. It was an 8-veiner, and with those diamonds, I made a diamond pickaxe, an iron bucket, and full iron armor. Right on top of my strip mine, there was a cave where I got even more iron, gold, and killed my first zombie. But I've been underground for so long, so I made my way back up and defended my village for the first time. I realized that if I punched a mob, they launch all the way into the air. You know, I'm very simple. I did this for the entire night, just launching these guys in the air. And as day 5 started rolling around, I realized this village was already fully protected. They didn't need my help. So on day 5, I was getting ready to leave and find a new village. I smelted all of my ores, made a ton of bread, and turned all of my ingots into blocks. Hopefully this village can live without me. I collected my furnace and traveled for hundreds of blocks looking for a village that needed my help. And after I crossed the river, I found this huge savannah village that only had 1 golem. So as day 6 was about to end, I killed a bunch of mobs and lit this entire area up. Now that the village was lit up, it was time for me to get started on building my house. I collected a ton of dirt and started flattening out this area where my future home was gonna be. I noticed a lot of villagers didn't want to live on top of this hill, so this is where I started building my house. Acacia wood is right up there with birch wood as being some of the ugliest wood in the game, but I wanted to match with the village. By the time day 8 rolled around, my house was completely finished. I moved the chest and furnaces here. The rest of day 8, I collected a bunch of wool and connected my path with the village's path. Day 9 to 10, I decided to be actually useful, so I made a farm for the village. I took some of the watermelons from the villagers and planted watermelon at the bottom and wheat up top. I put fences all over the farm so it didn't get trampled, and then planted the sugarcane that I found around the deserts. Right after that, I used some of the wheat to bring these cows in back to the village. I fenced these guys in and made a small cow farm. Day 11 to 14, I made a bunch of farmer villagers and then tried to get them to breed. Right after that, I made full iron tools because I needed to go mining for ores. Right next to this village, there was this little mountain area, so I just dug right into it and got to mining. At first, I was mining at y=15, and that was a huge mistake. All that ended up doing was just ruining my pickaxe. I didn't even get a single diamond from there. So I moved on to y=5 and hit the jackpot. With all these diamonds, I was able to make full diamond armor. I even had enough iron to make an anvil. Then I collected the sugarcane and took this villager's bookshelf to start my own enchanting station. That night, I fought a huge horde of zombies, so that reminded me what I needed to do. I needed to upgrade this village and build walls all around this area. It took me 3 whole days, every single piece of wood and stone I had to make that wall. Day 22 to 23, I killed a bunch of cows to grab some leather to make more books and bookshelves. I then expanded my sugarcane farm to be almost triple the size. To speed up the enchantment process, I also expanded this cow farm. Day 24 to 28, I finally got a mending villager. I was 1 emerald short, so while they were restocking, I went down to the mines, grabbed some obsidian, and made an enchantment table. It took 2 tries, but I got the perfect enchantment on my pickaxe. I also bought the mending book and put it on my pickaxe as well. Then I got a protection 4 chestplate, sharpness 4 sword, protection 4 leggings, and power 4 bow. I then went back down to the mines to repair my pickaxe and grab some levels to enchant the rest of my gear. I ended up getting a protection 3 boots and protection 4 diamond helmet. Day 28 to 29, I went to look for a pillager outpost. I needed the bad omen effect so I could start a raid. And after traveling for the whole day, right in front of me was a pillager outpost. As soon as I got there, I got attacked by a pillager. I shot it down pretty easily and went to free my other iron golem brothers. I looked through this whole outpost and I couldn't find a single guy who was holding up a banner. I even started practicing my trick shots. After I collected this jack-o'-lantern, this guy finally showed up. This wasn't much of a challenge, I just needed this guy to help me summon a raid. After I got my bad omen effect, I then came right back home. It was time to summon a raid. I made sure all the villagers got to their home and then I built 2 extra golems with the jack-o'-lanterns and the iron I had. These walls were the best thing I ever made. These guys all ended up piling right against the walls. On the second wave, a Ravager spawned right in the village. Once I took this guy out, it was kinda easy to take out everybody else. Once again, this wall was the best thing I ever made. made. On wave 3, a lot of these guys were just kept outside of the wall. I took out the witches first and then the pillagers. The next wave, the raid started coming in from the river. But with the help of my iron golem friends, we handled this wave pretty easily. Then it was the final wave. These vindicators had lowered my health down to 1 bar, so I had to end this raid quickly. I took my boat across the river and took out the last remaining raiders. Just like that, I became the hero of the village. Day 31 to 34, becoming the hero of the village gave me a ton of discounts, so I grabbed a ton of emeralds and then I went down to the mine to get more diamonds. My armors were torn up. I used all those diamonds to repair my armor and the amethyst crystals to make myself a spyglass. Rest of these days I planted carrots and potatoes and grabbed a mending book. Day 35 to 37, now it was time to go to the nether. I got extremely lucky and spawned right next to a fortress. While I was there, I made sure to grab the nether warts and spent the rest of this time destroying the blazes for blaze rods. Before I left, I even traded with some piglins and fought some ghasts. And when I came back, I re-enchanted my leggings. Day 38 to 39, I got even more mending books and got to level 30 so that I could enchant my boots. I've been collecting a bunch of mending books, so now is when I decided to use them. Day 40 to 41, I needed to go back to the nether one more time to get even more blaze rods. Mostly because I wanted to make some potions. The blaze rods were for strength potions, and then the rest of these days I spent fighting endermen. Day 42, I finally had enough eyes of ender to fight the dragon. I hit this sick jump, traveled across many more biomes, and accidentally fell into this ravine. And turns out this is where the stronghold was. Day 43 to 44, I collected 3 stacks of books from this library and put the pearls into the ender portal. It was time to take on the ender dragon. As soon as I spawned in, I built up to the main island, took out my bows, and started shooting out these end crystals. Once these crystals were out of the way, I drank my strength potion and started attacking the dragon. This dragon was an absolute piece of cake, especially because iron golems don't even take fall damage. Look at this. Once the ender dragon had perched, I finished it off with my sword. Just like that, that was 2 goals done. I collected all of the XP the dragon dropped and then took its dragon egg. It was now time to get the elytra wings. Day 45 to 50, the first end city I found didn't even have an end chip, so I just collected some shulker shells and went to travel to find a new end city. And there it was, an end chip, just what I needed. Have you ever seen an iron golem fly? This looks so stupid, just watch. I needed to get home really quick because I had huge things to work on. Day 50 to 58, I removed all the houses in the back that none of the villagers decided to live in. Right after that, I got rid of my own farm to build a huge farming area near the back of the village. This place was made to farm a ton of wheat, potatoes, and carrots. After the main crop area was done, I expanded my sugarcane farm and connected it to the huge farm I just made. Right next to the crops, I made another area for animals. This place was for every single animal I could get near the village. The final upgrade I did was making the paths around this entire village a lot nicer. 8 whole days of work finally made this village look like a proper settlement. I even connected it all the way through the farm and even my own house. Day 59 to 61, I needed even more villagers to make this place feel more alive. So I placed a ton of beds and gave these guys even more jobs. I then planted my nether warts, collected gunpowder, got more emeralds, and put infinity on my power 4 bow. I also enchanted my elytra wings with unbreaking and mending, made fireworks and potions of fire resistance so I could go to the nether to get some ancient debris. Day 62 to 65, I flew around the nether to find a place that wasn't right above lava to mine for ancient debris. This was actually mind-numbing. I now hate the color red. But it kinda paid off, because I at least had 2 netherite ingots to upgrade my chestplate and my pickaxe. Day 66 to 67, I unlocked the woodland mansion trait for my cartographer. Then I put looting 3 and mending on my diamond sword. After that, I got a bunch of steak and even made a golden apple. This is because I needed to find a woodland mansion. I traveled for about 5 days and 20,000 blocks to finally end up at this woodland mansion. I then made my way inside and got attacked by 3 vindicators. I took them out, stole their pumpkins, and made my way up to the next floor. Here I fought evokers. One of these guys were hiding, so there were tons of vexes around me. After taking out the evokers, I made my way to the top floor to clear this woodland mansion out. Now it was time to burn this place down to the ground. Day 75 to 80, I enjoyed the wreckage and made the long journey back home. Day 80 to 83, I put all the loot away and then got to trapping my villagers. I needed a ton of emeralds, so I captured my best villagers to turn them into zombies. I lured 3 zombies one by one and let them turn my villagers into zombie villagers. Once I turned them back, I just had to wait for them all to become regular again. And because of that, now I have some of the best deals ever. For the next few days, I only had one goal, and that was to get as much emeralds as possible. But while I was waiting, I also built a little pumpkin farm for future golems. So for 5 days, all I did was trade with these guys and rack up a ton of emeralds. I think I needed 128 blocks, and these 5 days already gave me almost 2 stacks. Day 89 to 92, I enchanted my shovel and axe. Then it was time to spend a bunch of days in the nether trying to get wither skeleton heads. I switched between 2 fortresses and killed a whole lot of wither skeletons. Even with the looting 3 sword, I had some terrible luck, but at the end of the day, I ended up getting 4 wither skeleton skulls. That's all I needed. Once I got home, I brewed strength potions, grabbed some milk, and got some rest. Day 94, it was now time to take on the wither. I wanted to take on this wither one-on-one. No caves, no bedrock, nothing. Just the wither versus an iron golem. I stepped back as the wither exploded and started drinking my strength potion. In the beginning, I had no idea where this wither was going, but once I shot it, it started coming after me. I managed to get a bunch of good hits with the strength 2 potion in, but I finally got hit with the wither effect. And then I lowered the wither's health down enough for it to challenge me one-on-one. The wither kept raining those skulls at me as I kept hitting it with my sharpness 4 sword. I thought I was gonna have to retreat, but I kept fighting and ended up killing it. I was so close to completing my last goal. I flew right back to my village and made a beacon almost immediately. I wanted to make a full beacon, so it took another 3 whole days of farming and trading with my villagers to get just enough emeralds. At this point, I was trading almost everything. Pumpkins, glass panes, but I got enough to make a full beacon. And on day 99, I set up this beacon right in the center of the village to showcase to everybody what I've accomplished. On day 100, I got speed 2 and regeneration and went to fly around this entire village. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my last 100-day video where I took on epic bosses. Leave a like and let me know in the comments if you want to see any other type of 100 days in Minecraft. Thank you so much for watching.